can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. It. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
Here we go. It is a edition. It's live on the road. Goldie, the super van, is live from the Seahawks parade. Welcome in, kiddos, to the daily puck drop on the road. Jim Moore is in Spokane. I am down on third. Where am I? I'm third in Wall, just a block off the parade route. Sorry about the glare here. We've been sitting in Goldie, Jim Moore, for about almost 2 hours now, getting a prime spot, getting you ready for the parade that will start in about an hour from now. And I'll tell you right now, I got here at 8 o'clock. That 4th Avenue, 4th and Wall, between Wall and Battery, packed at 8 a.m. But we've made it. Hopefully, this will hold up for the next hour. You never know. Are you there? You don't hear me. You don't hear anything? You can't hear me at all? Oh, well, everything was working so great, and now Jim Moore can't hear me. Well, I don't know what happened. That was great. We tested this thing all out before the show started. Now I can't hear Jim Moore. Well, you know what? That's the part. That's what happens when you try to do live entertainment, is that now you can't even hear him. All right. Well, that's too bad. Maybe we'll get Jim Moore back on. It was connected. He was ready to go. We tested it out. We tested it out. It was perfect. And then all of a sudden we couldn't hear him anymore. But maybe we'll get him back on here in a little bit. We'll try to get him back on. Can you hear me now? Nothing? Nothing at all? All right. How about take out – huh? I hear you. You talk. Oh, Jim. God, don't you love Jim? You know what? We thought we had him. It worked, and now it doesn't work. That's okay. Rob Staton's going to join us coming up in a little bit to talk about of course, the parade. He's excited that he was at this Super Bowl. Maybe people will stop on by. You never know. That will stop on by here as we are on 3rd and Wall, getting ready here for the parade, which is going to be just an awesome, awesome day. You know what's so funny is, how is it that I'm in a car someplace and it works fine, and Jim, who is in like a house, it doesn't work for him at all? Well, we knew there was going to be issues. I'm going to try one more time. Oh, now he left. I think someone did say, and I would agree, that Jim is cursed for betting on the Patriots. I would concur with that. That, in fact, because he did bet on the damn Patriots, he has been cursed. Again, 3rd and Wall. Look at this guy. He's excited for the parade. He looks like he's got his marijuana necklace on. He's ready to have a good time. We'll give Jim one more shot to get on. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, yes.
What the hell, man? What happened? It was testing it out and it worked fine, and then you hit something.
I honest to God did not hit anything. I left and then came back, and I can hear you fine now.
Okay, well, here we are. We're just a block off the parade route, 3rd and Wall. By the way, if you ever come down here, there's a French bakery that is right off of 4th and Wall. Magnifique. I got like 15 croissants and a baguette. I'm going carb heavy today, Jim. I'll tell you right now, I don't know if you heard me earlier, but I was here at 8 o'clock.
Excuse me, is that different from any other day?
Yeah, it's not, but that's fine. Bread's good for you. I like to wear shirts that say gluten. I'm not gluten-free. I'm gluten more. It was at 8 o'clock, Jim. It was packed.
I'll bet it was. I was wondering what time you got there. I figured you maybe had to get there at the crack of dawn. And so good effort getting there at 8 o'clock and paying a cheaper parking fee. $11 is all you had to pay to park Goldie? Come on.
Well, now it's 60. Like it was $11 before early bird special before 9 a.m. But that's why I got down here early. Now it's $60. So yeah, I really win. I'm winning here. Hell, I just might sleep here tonight. I got this thing for like 15 hours. This parking rate. God, it's a hell of a deal.
It reminds me a lot of college game day with all the fans swarming around you there. It's
Yeah,
it's just
it really is cool. I wish I could have a better shot of like looking down where fourth is, because you couldn't get. I mean, that I probably should have brought it down last night. I don't even think you could get a car on 4th Avenue. They probably had it blocked last night, but you're on 3rd, you're on 5th. You can't even turn down to even get to 4th. They've got it all blocked off. So,
what's your guess on what are they saying? Aren't they saying like 500,000 people are going to be there today?
I don't know. I'm just going to tell you again, that stretch from like Wall to Battery, south, right, as far as I could see. I mean, it was lined up already. There was to get in the bakery. It was at 8:15. It was fucking 50 people in line. So I think there's a lot of people ready to go.
Well, yeah, and then we know the ceremony started at 10 o'clock at Lumen Field just 5 minutes ago, and then the parade's going to start after that and wind its way to Seattle Center. So, do you have any suggestions for people who are still on their way to try and make it, and where they could get the best vantage point for the parade?
I would come down. I honestly would come down where I'm at. I would make my way down like Cedar, like 4th and Cedar is where it's going to end. So just the kind of north end of Belltown. I would just come down here. I'm telling you, if you're coming down here and you are watching or listening to this, there is a parking lot I'm in at 3rd and Wall, and it's $60. You got to pay. But I'm telling you, there's no cars here. There's like 10 other cars. It's perfect. Get on in.
Yeah, and then you just walk 1 block over and you're on 4th Avenue and you can see everybody go by. So it'll be great.
Yeah, 1 block over. It's great. And here's the cool thing about it. I mean, my kids are down here. My daughter's down here. My son's down here with 3 of his buddies. And there's a lot of kids, which is really, really cool. Really cool. A lot of people emailing, no doubt, emailing their schools this morning saying, hey, Johnny's sick today. Because for whatever reason, the Seattle Public Schools did not want to give everyone an excused absence today.
Okay. 2 things. How'd you handle that? Did you call in sick for I don't know how it works anymore. You can just email in sick?
I just emailed. Yeah, I just emailed saying my daughter's not going to be at school today. They're sick.
They're sick.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to lie.
Yeah, you got to lie. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Okay.
No, my camera's not foggy. Somebody asked me if my camera is foggy. No, it's just the glare of the sun coming in. I can't position it any better. I'm sorry to those asking why is my camera foggy. It's just the glare of the sun.
My wife had a great question today, and usually her questions kind of suck, so it stood out among the others. Why don't they hold the parade on a Saturday? Wouldn't that be easier for everybody? Like people who are working today, they can't call in sick for work. I mean, it's one thing to call in your kid. It wouldn't have been that big a deal if you had to wait 3 more days for the parade, would it?
I think that's a fair question. Why not have it on a weekend? You know what I was thinking about? These guys don't get, I know they're athletes and they make a lot of money. These guys do not get a break from this damn thing. I mean, the Super Bowl ended on Sunday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got, poor Darnold and Walker have got to get up the very next day at like the butt crack of dawn, one, to meet with the media again, because we've got to interview these guys one more time for some reason. And then they've got to get on a plane or whatever to go to Disneyland, to go sit in teacups and be spun around for a couple of hours, do more interviews, do more like meet and greet. And then Sam Donald's got to get on a plane again. Mike McDonald's doing the same thing. He's taping Jimmy Kimmel. There's no break. Darnold does the Disneyland thing, gets done with that. Then he comes back up to Seattle, and for some reason, he's the MC breaking in a new Raising Cane's restaurant that opened up yesterday. I mean, do they ever just say, I don't know, man, he just played in the Super Bowl. Let's give him some time off.
Yeah, but I think if you were to ask Darnold how he felt about his travel schedule, he's probably still going on adrenaline. He's a Super Bowl champion, and he wants to take everything that's coming his way. I think he's probably okay with it. But again, the parade thing, when you're talking about all these other things, the player commitments that they have, that make it easier for them to get back to Seattle or wherever else, whoever wins the Super Bowl, for the parade if you held it on a Saturday.
I know. And then they had to clean out their lockers yesterday. Wouldn't you just want to be like, I want to hit the couch. I've been going hard every single day for the last 5 months. 6 months. Can we just look sleep? I'm going to go right from the Super Bowl to Cancun.
Well, I think tomorrow they can do that. I would think that they can really unwind today, be themselves, hammer some bush lights or whatever they're going to do during the parade, be some fireball out there. And I think it's going to be, I'm looking forward to seeing, I don't know what's going on there at Lumen Field. I'm sure that's going to be great too. But then once everybody spills out of that stadium and the parade starts, and then just finding out there's got to be one Seahawk that gets sloppy drunk and slurs a little bit. Let's hope for that to happen.
Well, why do you think they did? I guess the theory would be they did the speech and stuff before the parade so the players don't get too shit-faced. Is that probably the reason?
Yeah, I think that probably is a reason. We were trying to fish around for why they would do that, because typically it seemed like the last one they held, it ended at Lumen Field when the Seahawks won. So yeah, they changed it up, and that's probably as good a reason as any that I could come up with.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of is they just literally did not want all these guys at the end trying to talk. Because remember last time we got John Schneider doing the hey, so let's go. I mean, Schneider couldn't talk last time.
I know from a corporate business perspective that it's better to do it that way, having your players be sober at Lumen Field this morning. But for our purposes, wouldn't it have been more fun if they'd been shit-faced and talking to the crowd?
Exactly right. I mean, like a Brady incident. Remember when Brady had to be carried off the boat?
Didn't we like him more that day?
I think so.
He's just like us.
Well, I think the Earl, he's not just like us, by the way. We're not Adonises with supermodel girlfriends. We're not rich like him. So no, he's not like us.
No, but that part of him, that little part of him, we saw him get drunk like we used to get drunk in Pullman.
Stumbling off a boat with tequila. Well, I just saw a note there on Twitter saying that Gray Zabel did walk into the facility today with a case of Busch Light.
Good for him.
Yeah. Don't you think Gray Zabel could probably finish off that whole case and be fine, don't you think?
Yeah, I would think he could do it. His size, his experience with drinking there at North Dakota State. Yeah, I think he
slight beer. I mean, it really is just water.
Yeah. No.
Don't you think?
Yeah, he could pound a half rack easily.
Half rack. I mean, my God, that'd be the easiest thing in the world for this guy. I'm seeing a video of Michael Shandugar showing Gray Zabel on the big board there. He's double fisting Busch Lights.
Double fisting.
Yeah, good for Zabel. God almighty. I mean, because the thing with Busch Light is you're really able to kind of drink that all day long and maintain a little bit of a buzz without really pushing yourself over the edge. I mean, this would be a different story if he was double fisting like a Georgetown Bodhisattva IPA that's like 7%. Okay, he'd be a wreck. He'd be a wreck in 2 hours.
I think it'd be fun, at parades, usually a lot of the floats, and the people in the parade, they're throwing candy to people. I think it'd be fun if the Seahawks had gotten a bunch of cases of Busch Lights and then just thrown them into the crowd as they're going down 4th Avenue.
Yeah, I'm not sure that would be legal. I'm not sure you could do that from a legal standpoint.
Are there rules anymore in life?
Well, there certainly aren't rules down here anymore. I'll tell you that. Not in this freaking city. There's no rules.
Are you going to be getting taken in because you threw a Busch Light into a crowd to a guy that was willingly grabbing it?
No, I am just waiting, even though I've paid for a parking spot, someone just to knock on my door. Sir, you can't live here. You cannot live in your car. Yes, I can. Leave me alone. I can do whatever I want here. Were you at the parade for the Sonics in '79?
I was not. No, I was up in Ketchikan, Alaska at the time. I watched Game 5 from a buddy's apartment there in Ketchikan, and I did not make it down for the parade. But
so you've never been to
the pictures and the videos that I saw of that. It was that was the first one, wasn't it, in our city?
Yeah. Have you ever been to a parade?
Well, I've been to a parade, yeah.
Well, a parade,
Redmond Bicycle Derby, but not a parade like this.
The Renton Bicycle Derby is not really up there with a championship parade, but it's a close second, though. It is a close second.
No, I haven't been to one. I have not. Well, there's only been 3 in our city's history, right? I mean,
I am aware of it. I'm aware of it. Well, did the Storm when they won? Did they have a parade when the Storm won, or when the Sounders won? Did they have a parade?
Yeah, probably.
Just go
but
ahead
no.
and say what you want to say. Say what you want to say. Just do it. Let's
I
offend
don't even
everyone
know
today.
what I want to say, but does that count?
I know what you There it is. Does that count?
I'm sorry if you're a Storm fan or Sounders fan.
So
I
you
suck.
didn't. What about
Okay.
the last Super Bowl?
No, I didn't go. No.
Did you guys do anything on the radio station? Were you still at the radio station, and you've been fired by then?
Still at the radio station.
You were. Amazing.
And yeah, we had special coverage that morning, but we did it from the studio. And I think we had, like, Jessamine was down doing, reports on the street and that kind of thing. But no, we didn't go to the lengths that you did here at Puck Sports to be there on the scene like this in that traveling mobile studio you have.
It is. Do you want to see the rest of it? I mean, does everyone want to see what it looks like? I'm going to knock us off, I guarantee.
Yeah. No, take us on a tour
here's
here.
The back. Can you see the back of it? There it is. That's kind of where you can kind of see that little thing right there, that little couch that will slide down into a two-person bed. You see that? Now, if I put that up, you see the skylight. Now that will pop up, and there's another 2 people up there.
Yeah.
Okay, you see where that baguette is? Yeah, I'm going to finish that baguette. Underneath there's a stove. There's a sink. There's the fridge.
Yeah.
I mean,
how's Goldie running these days? You get
she's running, baby.
42 miles an hour going up hills, or how's that going?
Oh, Jesus. Do you think she's got the spring legs in her? 42. Max speed of 28 going up the pass, Jim.
28. How about going from Vantage up to Ryegrass Pass? How would it do there?
Oh, we're clipping 29, maybe 30. How about that hill? Have you ever gone that hill from what is that? Why am I blanking on? Lewiston back to Pullman, that hill?
Yeah. Yeah, back in the day it was the Lewiston grade. I don't know what they call it now.
15 miles an hour. I've gone up that.
Yeah.
15.
Yeah.
15
That's all right.
miles an hour.
As long as it's still moving. And you've gotten so much fun out. You've gotten so much fun out of that rig.
She's still moving. She's doing great. She's doing unbelievable. She just keeps rock and rolling. I had an old couple just stop on by about 20 minutes ago. Well, a little longer than that.
Old couple, people my age, you mean?
No, older than you, much older than you. And I'm thinking, hey, we got listeners. And she's like, I love your van. I have one myself. I got a 1970. You ever heard of Puck Sports? She said, no, never heard of it. No idea why are you sitting in there?
Yeah. Well, okay. So what do you have planned for today? You going to have some Seahawks fans come over and
we can interview some. Rob's going to come on. Rob Staton's going to come on a little bit. Talk to Rob. You're welcome to stay on if you'd like.
You want to talk about the Gonzaga Cougs game at all?
No, I don't want to talk about that game. I just, again, stop betting. Stop betting. Stop telling everyone these are sure bets when they're not.
Hey, Puck,
they covered the spread with 10 minutes to go in the first half.
I don't think I can put into words correctly enough how badly we suck. We're horrible.
Awful. It's awful. It's just terrible.
I know. It's no big deal. The Cougar Gonzaga game it doesn't even warrant talking about. So let's get back to the parade.
Oh, it's laughable. I just was laughing at that game, like just laughing every single time. Could not do a single thing.
I paid $336 to go to that game last night. I spent $200 at Jack and Dan's, the bar that I'd always wanted to go to.
Sure.
And John Blanchette was there. It was a fantastic night until the game was tipped off. So after that, everything went downhill. But
John Blanchette looked really good in that photo you sent out.
I love Blanchette. Don't be ripping Blanchette.
He looked real good.
Don't be ripping him.
Still shitting on the Cougars at every opportunity he gets, Blanchette?
Yes, he is.
That's good. He's a small little person, that John Blanchette. He's never
John
has said
Blanchette.
one nice word about the Washington State Cougars.
I
in
love
his
John
life.
Blanchette. Okay, well, you admit that the guy's one hell of a writer, though.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
You like constant negativity. Yeah, sure.
He's one of the best. I'm having lunch with Jim Walden today. I'm excited about that.
Now that is a fine Coug.
Yeah,
Jim Walden is someone that I can get behind. John Blanchette can pound sand, but give me Jim Walden. I'm all in on Jim Walden.
Okay. I'll tell John what you had to say about him, and I'm sure it'll really hurt his feelings.
I'm sure it's going to really hurt his feelings, and he'll go
God,
back
that guy can pound the beers with the best of them, though. We were ordering one pitcher after another at Pacifico last night. We were having.
Well, he looked like it. He looked like he's trying to forget something.
Okay, what's the latest at the parade? Do you have anybody on the street? Anybody out there? Like
You
a
want me
Puck
just to
Sports
do a man on the
Well, no,
street,
yeah,
just
the
interview
Puck
people?
Sports, a Puck Sports correspondent.
Well, I wish I did. Well, my kids are out there. I wish I could lean out and be like and get them on. I mean, I guess I could have gone with a wireless microphone walking in there, but who knows if that would work? Yeah, no,
I
the
don't know.
vampire's
Maybe I
not
should.
here right now.
Would you be okay? One of the listeners here to the Puck Sports podcast today, would you be okay if you're a dad letting your 16-year-old daughter and 13-year-old son out on the streets of Seattle right now, unattended
Yeah.
by a parent?
Why wouldn't you? What the hell's going to happen? It's 11 o'clock in the morning.
I don't
There's a
know.
bunch of people around here. It's not here's the thing that people need to realize about Seattle and people that even live here in this state. It's not a war zone, folks.
Yeah.
It's not.
No.
Just because someone keeps telling you that on this little app, that's a fun one. This Twitter, it's not a war zone. It's actually okay.
Yeah, it looks okay.
You're not
It looks
gonna
like
get
it's a nice day there.
It's a beautiful day. It's not even that cold out. It's great. It's wonderful. It's a damn good day. So, I just think it's a cool moment for the city. Anytime you celebrate these championships, regardless of what it is and what sport, this is just for a city that, to be honest, as a sports fan in Seattle, right? You don't get, we've always been the afterthought when it comes to sports, right? For any of them. And, I think to sit here for the second time, at least with the Seahawks, to have a parade, we've had other parades for other sports, but for the big ones, the Sonics in '79. I mean, I was born, but I don't remember that team at all. I just remember what I've read and what I've seen. And of course, you wait now for the Mariners. You keep waiting for them. That was close this last year. And obviously, if that ever does happen, probably as big as a parade that you see today or you saw back, 12 years ago will probably dwarf, with the Mariners. But, it's really cool for this city. Just growing, as we grew up here, you never were the like the center of the sports universe. And, for right now in the football world, it's the center of the sports universe. And it doesn't look like it's going to be going away.
No, that's the thing that's going to be fun to talk about once training camp opens, or even before that. We know it's a 365-day a year coverage of the NFL. Got the draft coming up, free agency. It's going to be a different team next year, but they seem to have a core that they're going to keep intact. And the free agents that they lose, even if they were to lose Reek Woolen, and I don't think it seems like most people are good to go with Reek Woolen signing somewhere else for $15 million or whatever he's going to get. You want him to sign somewhere else for that kind of salary, because then you get a good compensatory pick for him back. You can get a late third rounder, early fourth rounder. Sure. I know I kind of flubbed that word pronunciation, didn't I? Because I always think of compensation, and then we have to switch it up when you go to compensatory. It doesn't flow off my tongue like the words usually do. But yeah, they're set up. They're really set up. And I imagine I was thinking about that because other Super Bowl winning teams, you think, okay, can they win 2 in a row? And it seems like, they were lucky to win 1. And you don't think about 2 in a row. But with the Seahawks, the way they're set up, you can envision them being in the same situation next year.
I think, and I don't think it's premature to think about that. I think your mind goes there, and it's okay for your mind to go there, just because of how they're set up right now. And again, even if they do, I understand. I think you do. I think most fans understand how difficult this is to win it. You can have the best team all year long, and it can take an injury. I'm not saying Denver would have won it. I think Denver gives Seattle a better game in the Super Bowl. But look at Denver. I mean, they have played. They're consistent.
I don't know if they would have given them a better game with Stidham. You think Stidham could have handled that defense?
No, they would have given them a better game with Bo Nix. My point was that you don't know how the season goes. You play it all year, and then you get to the championship game, and you're a star player gets hurt, and all of a sudden, you're knocked out of it. I mean, the only reason the Denver Broncos weren't playing in the Super Bowl is because the quarterback got hurt.
Right.
Bo Nix is healthy. They win that game, and I think they probably give Seattle a better game.
Yeah, and it can just be one play. The Rams could have been in the Super Bowl pretty easily. 4th and 4 from whatever the 17-yard line. they convert that pass, or Parkinson dropped that one pass, and he might have scored on that play on that drive. So,
Lots
and
of
that's the
stuff.
thing. I mean, next year maybe the Seahawks go into it. Okay, they have the best chance of going back to the Super Bowl and winning the whole thing, but there could be just one play that just changes everything. It's
Well,
just, there's some luck involved. I'm saying things that people already know, but
of course there's luck involved. There 100% is luck involved. You got to stay healthy. You got to have the right personnel. You got to have a backup running back pick up a 2-point conversion, and he was just going to hand it to the ref and walk across the goal line. I mean, think about that. That is a major difference and a huge part in the whole they got home field advantage because Zach Charbonnet picked up a ball and walked over the goal line.
Yeah, 2 games at home versus 3 games on the road in the playoffs.
And not to say they couldn't go win on the road because they were great on the road, but obviously it's a much easier path to have 2 games at home and go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, they're set up great. I'm looking forward to the offseason. And then I saw the draft picks. We knew that they were going to be drafting 32nd because they won the whole thing. And they've got 4 picks, but everybody knows they've got picks in the first, second, and third round, and I think maybe the 5th round. But everybody knows that Schneider will end up trading down and end up with 6 or 7 picks, if not 8 or 10.
Yeah. And, I think the celebration, I think, of this year's team is, and I think there's a lot of correlations a little bit to the Mariners, even though the Mariners didn't get it done. And I think we talked about this maybe the other day. I talked about it a little bit with Danny Kelly yesterday as well. And where this team differs from the last championship team, and not to say that team wasn't likable, because they were extremely likable, but this is a different likable team. This is just it's a different beast to these guys. They aren't as bombastic as that team. I don't think it's going to be a team that's going to splinter because of egos. Maybe I could be wrong. I don't know. Obviously there's going to be guys they're going to be up for contracts and get paid. I thought that team, it started to become, well, I need to get paid and I'm valuable, so you need to pay me. And then obviously the whole thing with the quarterback and what happened in the second Super Bowl and all that. And it became, there's the defense and then there's Russell Wilson. I just don't think we'll see that type of divide with this team. I don't think we're going to see a player, if he gets injured, being carted off the field and flipping off his head coach, or trying to go in to someone's locker room after a game and beg for that team to come get him like Earl Thomas. I don't think you're going to see like a Michael Bennett telling the press that, hey, I'm reading a book in a team meeting because I've already heard this all before. I don't think you're going to get that with this group. I could be wrong, and maybe it does happen, but I think there is a difference between that team and this team in terms of that, how they kind of carry themselves. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I do agree with that. And the other part of it that is better on this team is, you're right, I don't think that many players wanted to admit publicly how much they disliked Russell Wilson. And yet they were still, they knew that Russell gave them the best chance as their quarterback to achieve what they wanted to achieve and go to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl. Yeah. With this group, they all love Sam Darnold. They love him. And there were times when if they wanted to, and admitted that they didn't love him because of the way he was playing and turning the ball over. I mean, if I'm a defensive player, sometimes during the season, especially that Rams game when he had 4 interceptions, I'm thinking, damn, man, we could have won if our quarterback had played better. But Ernest Jones steps up to the podium and says he's our guy.
Right.
And anybody else who doesn't believe that, F off. So, yeah, they're connected. They're together. I liked what Julian Love had to say when he was cleaning out his locker. He talked about how the team he said, it sounds really weird, but we wish we could still keep playing after already winning the Super Bowl, and just wanted to keep it going. And just that weird feeling of the season being over. And for a change, when you're cleaning out your locker, you're the champion. You're not thinking, gee, we could have been this or we could have been that if this had happened. You don't have to worry about the ifs, ands, or buts this time. You actually did it. So, it's just a different feeling with this team. And they're young enough that they can pull this off again.
You have to go, or what's your schedule like?
No, I'm probably, I'm meeting these guys for lunch at noon, and I'm just going to help my friend get pull the sheets off the bed and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm here for you, Puck. Whatever you need from me.
What are you, a maid?
Well, yeah, you stay at someone's house and you don't want to just leave the place in a mess, and you want to contribute and help out. Yeah. Don't you?
You want to stick? You want to talk? Yeah, well, of course. You want to talk? You want to talk to Rob, or do you want to go?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'll talk to Rob, of course.
Of course you will. Of course you'll talk to Rob. All right. Rob Staton is sitting in the green room. He's over in England. I'm on 3rd Avenue in Wall. As the parade is about a half an hour away from getting started. Jim is in Spokane, where he watched the Cougs only lose by 30-something last night against Gonzaga. We talk up. We'll finish up the season. Our chat with Rob Staton from SeahawksDraftBlog.com. Also, check out his YouTube page. He's been putting a ton of stuff up out there. Rob Staton Football. His weekly appearance all brought to you by Georgetown Brewery.
Drink Georgetown Tavern Beer. Your new, locally brewed, domestic-style lager. 4.2% alcohol. Cheap, good, local.
Rob Staton, we somehow have been able to pull this off in my van down at the Super Bowl parade. We welcome you in. It's our, I guess, last official visit, weekly visit, but although we're going to sneak you on. I think we got to do one more before we get into the combine and the draft and all that kind of stuff. But welcome in Rob Staton with us, SeahawksDraftBlog.com, Rob Staton Football, Rob Staton on social media. Welcome to Super Bowl parade coverage, Rob. We'll try to give you some live on-the-street reports here momentarily, but you were there. You saw it in person. Your first ever. How was it?
Well, first of all, hello, gentlemen. Great to be here. And
Hey, Rob.
I was just watching the speeches, and John Schneider is absolutely hammered. By the way,
Yeah, I love it.
They had to start. They just had to give him the shepherd's crook because he's going on a bit too much there.
I love that he's already hammered.
You need to wrap this up, man, because he's a little bit tipsy, to say the least. So yeah, it was amazing. Like everything about it was amazing. California's amazing. I want to live there now. It's the stadium on the day was a dream come true, and that is one of the 5 best days of my life. So it was amazing.
How'd that come together for you, Rob? Was it a last minute thing?
It was. I wasn't planning on going, and then thankfully Brian M. Hauser got in touch with me and said there was a chance that I could buy a ticket off him, and I thought, do you know what? I rang my wife and said I really want to go. What do you reckon? And she went, go for it. Just do it. So I went on Friday and I came back on Monday. That's an 11-hour flight on Friday and an 11-hour flight on Monday, by the way, to watch a game of football. But it was worth every second I was on that plane.
Well, I read what you wrote on Seahawks Draft Blog, and it was really heartfelt. And I think if you could just pass that along, the sentiment that you had in your writing, Rob, I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Well, I just think there's a... I don't know how you two felt about it, and I don't want to be too overly woolly about any of this and come across like a big Jesse. But for me, the 11 years ago was quite a difficult experience, and it is only a football game at the end of the day, and you should be able to deal with it, shouldn't you? And you should just be able to move on. And I couldn't move on from that, and it was quite a thing to sort of experience at the time. And I'm an England fan and a Seahawks fan, and neither of the teams have a lot of glory, a lot of success. And when the Seahawks did have a bit of success, we got to enjoy it for 12 months, and then we had our hearts ripped out. So I suspect that you can all you can relate to that as Cougs and as Mariners fans as well as Seahawks fans yourselves.
Yes, we can.
So to have all of that go on and to sort of feel like we had it taken away, like this amazing dynasty that was being built, it felt like it was over after that, and it proved to be the case. To be able to go back and for the Seahawks to wear the same uniforms, play the same opponent, for them to introduce Malcolm Butler to ring the bell right before kickoff. I loved the fact. I turned to Jeff, who I was with, and said, I'm glad that MF is here because I want him to see this, and just enjoyed every aspect of the fact that he just gave them an absolute arse kicking in that game. And and it was perfect, and it was closure. And that was the thing I thought when that ticker tape was coming down at the end. I just thought, this is 11 years of like carrying this around, gone. I'll never ever look at that Malcolm Butler play and feel horrible again. I will look at that play and think, do you know what? It was almost worth going through all of that to have Sunday. I'm glad we went through it because it made Sunday even better, and the Seahawks are world champions.
Did you have tears, Rob?
Oh, so I mean, look, I'm a wet lettuce, Jim. So I cry at films all the time. I cry. Listen, I watched Top Gun Maverick for like the 708th time on the flight over because there was nothing else on, and I always tear up at that. So I was going to tear up several times on Sunday, including when I'm not even American, and when Charlie Puth did the national anthem, I was getting emotional. So everything about it is, and there was a moment when it was over that I was getting a little bit emotional there, and so I have a bunch of friends who were ex-professional sportsmen. They're rugby players and soccer players over here, and some journalists, and we're all in a WhatsApp group, and we all love the NFL. And typically what we do is we get together for the Super Bowl, and they were all together for the Super Bowl, and they called me from the stadium, and I showed them the video message. I did a little video, I showed them the stadium, and this morning I got up to go to the gym, massively jet lagged, and what was waiting for me was a card on the floor, and they'd all made this card of all the pictures that I'd posted on social media of me at the Super Bowl, and they just said, "Congratulations. I hope you loved every second." None of them are Seahawks fans. One of them was a Seahawks fan, but he sadly passed away with motor neurone disease a couple of years ago. But yeah. I'm going to stop.
It's the. I mean, it's the best. I mean, I think that's what's awesome about sports. Like there really is nothing. I mean, maybe you watch you listen to an emotional song, or you watch an emotional musical. I don't know, but there's just nothing, right, Jim, that touches you like sports. It gets at you, and especially whatever your favorite team is that's the power of it, right? That's the connection of it all for everyone. That's why everyone gets along. It's the only time we all get along is when we watch professional sports or college sports or whatever it is. It's the thing that binds us the most.
Well, yeah, I think you're right, Puck, and Rob. I mean, as a Coug, I think it makes those. So all the suffering that we've had as Seattle sports fans, I feel like it makes it more worth it when you actually get to the mountaintop, rather than if you're the Yankees or the Dodgers, because you have all kinds of championships to compare them to. And that's why I always contend that the first one for the Seahawks in 2013, I think is still, although it was so surprising how it happened this year, so unexpected, that elevates the championship to a higher status for me, pretty close to the one in 2013. But certainly when the Mariners finally pull it off, it's going to be the number one of all time, and it's going to never be forgotten. And I just think that for all the suffering we've had, it's better this way in a way, because you feel that angst. We all relate to that. Got a disappointing season after a disappointing season, or being good but not good enough. And now you're great and you're on top of the world, and it looks like they're in a position to do even more and maybe perhaps win another one and go back to back and then really create a legacy for themselves.
Yeah, that's the main thing, is like, how do you build off this now and do it again? Because you've got a lot of players there who will have given absolutely everything to get to this point. And you don't want it to be a one-off, do you? You don't want them to just fall back into the sort of the 10-win range next year. You kind of want it to go along. But the great thing about winning one like this is I don't feel any pressure anymore. I don't feel as a Seahawks fan, I don't feel as if that will be a problem as much going forwards now. Like if they have a down year next year or in a couple of years' time, you always have these memories. That the problem with 11 years ago was that it was such a crushing missed opportunity, and you could just feel everything imploding. That when they had the tough times at the end of the LOB era and then towards the end of the Carroll era in its totality, you didn't have that sort of, well, at least we had this moment. Like I find it quite hard sometimes to watch the 2013 season Super Bowl, because you know what happens next. So provided they don't get back to the Super Bowl next year and throw it on the 1 yard line again, and have it intercepted, we'll always have these moments to sort of think of now. And I love that. And I really like this team. I like the character of this team, you know, seeing them all sort of going up onto that stage as I was watching before I joined you guys. They're just such a lot, you know, you've got like Gray Zabel there with a couple of cans of beer in his hand. And, you know, Ernest Jones has got a T-shirt on and it's got Sam Darnold smoking a cigarette with his middle finger up, which is hilarious. I just the personality, they seem like a bunch of guys that you could go and have a beer with and have a good time. And I like that kind of team.
Yeah, I've referenced it a lot of times. To me, they remind me a lot of a high school football team that has grown up together since they were kids, and they just won a championship. That's to me. That's what they come across as. They just are extremely likable, humble, kind of workmanlike. They're not in your face that much, right? They don't do the, you know, look at me. They don't do the, hey, no one believed in us talk. They don't do a lot of that. They're not always pointing fingers at other people. And, you know, they probably could do that. I mean, look at, one of, if not the best player on the team in Jackson Smith-Njigba. He's the best wide receiver in the league. How many wide receivers do you see with just these massive inflated egos, the way they carry themselves around? He doesn't do that at all. Like, none of it. Now, again, maybe it happens. You know, I probably said the same thing about Russell Wilson back in the day. So I guess anything is possible. But I don't know, the collection of what they have done here in the last few years, and I know John Schneider has talked about it, that starting a few years ago, he really made a concentrated effort to pare down what they looked at in the draft, free agency, and what represented a Seahawk. And I think what he has done since then, since having that conversation with people inside his building, that, hey, our draft board is too big. We got too many people, and we need to pare it down more. They obviously have been able to do that. We've got fans out here. They can't be interviewed. Do you want to be interviewed?
Yeah, let's go.
How's the parade?
Well, it hasn't started yet, so it's not that exciting.
This is the CEO of PuckSports, Jim. You know her. You've met her.
Hey, Kaisa.
Hello, everyone. CEO is here. I'm ready to make sure everybody's getting down to business.
You got to say that's Rob. That's Rob Staton from England.
Hey, Rob from England.
Hey.
Cheerio.
And then there's Tina, Superfan Patel. Come here, Tina. How many drinks have you had already, Tina?
I'm looking for my first.
No, you're not looking for your first. You're just what's in that little coffee cup right there?
Coffee.
That's not just coffee.
I'm the CEO.
Okay. All right. Yeah. You be safe out there. Okay.
Find drinks and potties.
Okay. Drinks and potties are coming for the two gals, the CEO of PuckSports and Tina, who that gal literally grew up. I didn't grow up, but when we were in our 20s, Jim Moore and Rob Staton, about 2 blocks from here. And that girl, she in her 20s, she was survived on 2 things: 3 things: red wine, cigarettes, and Dinty Moore soup.
Red wine, cigarettes, and Dinty Moore, like beef stew.
Beef stew soup. Survived on those 3 things. It was amazing. I've never seen anybody in their 20s be able to do that. So
she looks like she's doing well now, though.
I think like she's doing well now. Yeah. All right. Sorry about that. We got kind of a sidetrack there.
Sorry about that.
Groupies. It's hard to keep the groupies away.
Wife. We've never met her.
Huh? Well, you've met her a million times.
Well, I know I've met her, but no one else has.
Well, there she is. That's the one who runs the house, Rob. I don't know what it's like in your household, but I'm scared of my wife. You?
Well, I have an amazing wife. I mean, she lets me go off and do all these things. Like I'm going to the Super Bowl about 5 days before I actually go to San Francisco, and then she didn't stay up for the game because she's not a football fan. But when she woke up, I was still awake in America, and she just the first thing she did was look for the score and say how pleased she was and happy she was that they'd won. That's probably because she knew I'd be a real misery guts if they'd have lost. But yeah, she's amazing. The first ever Seahawks game I ever went to, I made a standing room only seats, and it got snowy and awful.
Hold on,
a great picture of her.
Rob. We got to say hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your reigning 2025 Washington State 3A floor champion from Ballard High School. What? 2024. No, I'm not. Hello. Are you ready to defend your state title?
You won the state championship in Florex.
Yeah.
You say hello to Jim and Rob.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hi, Mari.
What do you got there? Just another expensive drink that you made Mom pay for, probably? Yeah. Yeah, that's good. All right. What's in store for Ballard Gymnastics as they get ready for the district championship coming up this weekend?
We're gonna win.
Oh, your bold prediction, you're gonna win. And how are you gonna do? This is Jim, also the reigning Metro all-around champion. I believe not back to back, but you guys won it last year, but the all-around champion. Okay, any last thoughts? How's the parade? How's the crowd? How's your brother? Is he still alive?
I don't know where he is.
You've lost your brother.
Yeah. Well, he's with his friends.
Okay, that's perfect. All right.
On his crutches.
He's on his crutches. That's right. Okay, we'll find me a parade spot.
Yeah.
Find me a spot, and then we'll be over there. I'll be over there shortly. Okay, I love you too. There she is.
She looks like a kid that
Mary Lou Renton.
How many shows of yours has she actually listened to over the years? Like
my daughter,
one or two, maybe.
She's listened to none of them. Why would a 16-year-old high school kid listen to a freaking sports podcast?
I know,
unless she wants to go to sleep.
My daughter, one time, somebody said, "Hey, do you listen to your dad on the radio?" She goes, "Why would I do that? I hear enough from him at home."
Yeah, they don't want to hear me. They hate it. They hate it, for God's sake. They don't care. Robert, your kids, are they huge Seahawks fans? Have you
No, I've done a terrible job as a father. They're not interested in sports at all. They're a little bit sort of weirded out that I do a blog about a team that's thousands of miles away, and they didn't really understand what I was going for. Like when I got home, my daughter said, "Why did you go on holiday?" And I was like, "Well, I went to the Super Bowl." What's that? Like, I have like made in my son's like window. He has like a car sticker of the Seahawks logo that I put there when he was very little, and so everyone can see that in our street, and they know that we're Seahawks fans, or that I am. But I've not been able to cajole them to share my interest at all. I've done a terrible job. They're not bothered.
Hey, Rob,
anything.
I don't think you're a terrible father. We know you're not a terrible father. You're a great guy, so you got to be a great dad too. I'm just wondering, did you feel like every other Seahawks fan did going into this game? Because Puck and I always talk about it. We'll talk about keys to a game, and then on Monday morning, none of those keys to the game came out as happening. But this time they did. It seemed like everything played out the way a Seahawks fan thought it would.
Yeah, I did. I felt very confident. I did a video from the hotel the night before, and I just said I'm completely relaxed about this game. Did not feel anxious about it. Did not feel particularly concerned. I'd watched the 3 Patriots games in the condensed form that we get on Game Pass in the build up to the game, and I thought the Patriots were quite poor in those 3 playoff games, especially that offensive line. In the 2 nights we had in San Francisco before the game, I was telling the people I was with, like, that left tackle and that left guard, they are like, it's like watching the Seahawks offensive line when it was at its worst. Maybe even worse than that. And so it proved, they were awful. And it goes to show again the power of the trenches, Pug, doesn't it? Like you need to be good in the trenches if you're gonna win a title. And the Seahawks are better in the trenches.
It's just, we talk about it all the time, and it's always, we laugh about it. Oh, what's the key? Well, they got to be good on 3rd down. They got to be able to do this. They're going to have to contain their tight ends, their safeties, and blah, blah, their wide receivers. And it's just, I think it's one of the simplest things in sports when it comes to what the key in a football game is. You just got to win inside. You win inside, you're going to win the game.
Can I say something?
Dominated inside.
That you two may well relate to. I hope you don't mind me turning into old man mode here, but there was something particularly amazing about this win, that it was won with like kicking field goals when the internet has decided that you're not allowed to do that anymore, and that you've got to go for it on 4th down all the time, and the analytics tell you to do this, and like they just played like the percentages. They just played sensible, common sense football. They let the game declare itself and acted accordingly, and let the defense and the running game win the day. And that's not trendy at all. And there's probably like a few people on the internet who were sort of dissatisfied with that game. But for me, that was football. That is what football's about, And if you can take the other team's soul, like the Seahawks did it on Sunday, I find that as enjoyable as anything else.
I thought about Greg Olsen, Jim, about how miserable Greg Olsen would have been in that game.
Oh, because he would have been thinking they got to go for it. They got to go with the analytics, the 4th down. You got to go for the yellow line instead of the field goal.
Jim, he said in the Minnesota game, you don't win anything with field goals. They just set the record for most field goals in a Super Bowl on Sunday.
Yeah, Jason Myers he was an MVP candidate. That was one of the things that came out of the game that I as much as Walker deserved to be MVP, I thought that the defense had made more of a difference in the game, that they should have taken Witherspoon or someone from that defense, because they wouldn't have won the game as convincingly as they did without that side of the ball.
Witherspoon for me, and to go back to what Puck was saying about character, there was a lot of people who wanted Jalen Carter on this team, and Jalen Carter is an absolute nightmare, and probably still is, quite frankly. And Devin Witherspoon is a fantastic character, and I think he and Christian Gonzalez were probably the two top performers, weren't they, on the field at the weekend? And I think he should have been MVP, Devin Witherspoon. It had to be a defensive player for me. That defense needed someone from that group to go and get it. And if it had been Derek Hall or if it had been Byron Murphy, fine. But for me, it was Witherspoon. He was the main man.
What was amazing about it was, for a guy that they don't blitz a lot, right? They seem to, they really up sending him more than ever. And I guess what I like about the game plan there for McDonald, and I don't know if he did this on purpose, but it was almost felt like he was waiting to unleash that version of Witherspoon for the right time. He didn't do it in the championship game, didn't do the divisional game, never saw it during the regular season. You saw a whole new use, really, of Witherspoon a lot in the Super Bowl, which I don't know if New England was caught off guard by that. Certainly seemed like they were caught off guard by it. And I think just adds to the preparation that McDonald had for that game, that they clearly came out on top with 2 weeks to prepare of how, Rob, they were going to attack that offense.
We had an amazing view of the first blitz that Witherspoon got home on. And in my mind, when he set off to run through the middle of the offensive line, I was thinking in my head, why is he doing that? Like, he's just going to run into an offensive lineman and he's going to get blocked. And then he just sort of somehow found a gap and sneaked his way through. They obviously saw something there that they could exploit. And for Witherspoon he weighs about 180 pounds wet through. And for him to be able to sort of navigate his way through the offensive line and get home, fantastic. And what a player, but what a defense, what a team. And just a likable bunch, physical, tough, perfect day. Just an absolutely perfect day. And, I'm so intrigued to see what they're going to do next, because there's a lot of big things coming up now to try and make sure that you can come back next year. It warmed my heart to hear Jaron Reed say they want to go for it again next year, because I was a bit worried that everyone was going to retire. So I was really encouraged to hear that the other day when he said, we're not done. Let's go for it again next season.
Well, the biggest thing on the docket is clearly, what's going to go on at running back. Are you going to be able to keep number 9? Are you going to be able to keep K9? And Rob, I know you study this stuff more than I do, like everything else. What's he going to command salary wise?
Well, there's a few players, Cook in Buffalo, and people like that who are on $11 to $12 million. So I think you would start off there. He would have probably been in the 8-9 million range before becoming the Super Bowl MVP. He's just changed agent. They're going to ask for 11 and 12. Jonathan Taylor's 14 million. You're getting up to that level after that. The franchise tag is 14.5. I don't think they're going to go as high as that. John Schneider, I mentioned he was slightly tipsy on the stage. Did start an MVP chant at one point and then joked, he's just been trying to negotiate with me behind this backstage. And Ken Walker did not look very impressed. Like, Ken Walker's face was a picture, if you get to go and have a look back at that, because he was going, oh, what's he doing? He's drunk. So I think it is going to be interesting. But I think the injury to Charbonnet means they've got to bring him back, and because there's nothing in the draft. The draft is going to be very weak there if you want to try and replace Ken Walker, and I don't see much in the way of free agency providing a solution there. So I would imagine the chances are increasing that Ken Walker will return.
I'm going to bring up something that I brought up with Danny Kelly yesterday. I'm going to bring up to both of you, because we are Jim and I, and not Rob. You're more of a professional than we are, okay?
Hey.
But he is. We acknowledge that, right? We are in the business of entertainment, you and I. And we like to stir some things up a little bit more. Well, Rob is more of a hard-hitting article.
I've been doing this for 40 years. Give me some credit.
I am giving you credit.
25 years and I'm a sports radio host for 15. Come on. You call me unprofessional? I'm offended.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah, my feelings are hurt.
Yeah, we are unprofessional, but that's what makes us, that we're unprofessional. But we like to look ahead of things, right? I like to always look ahead. I'm looking ahead to next year. Can they win it again? They've got a window to get 2 more of these, based on their age and everything and where they're at. You make an argument that the last 2 years, right, for Sam Darnold, he's played a top 5 quarterback level, correct?
Top 10.
Top 10?
Not top 5. Yeah.
Top 5, not top 10. Okay.
Not top
But an
5.
elite, but I would say
Record-wise.
Record-wise, top 1.
Record-wise is never. Yeah, well, record-wise, no one's ever done it. What he's been able to do.
Yeah.
He's 28 years old, right? So he's got how many more years do you think left in his quote prime? I mean, that could be debate 6, 5, 6.
Yeah.
The way he prepares, he can play till he's 34, 35. But let's just say it's, what did you say, Rob? 5?
I think about 5 is fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
If he puts together 5 more seasons like he just did these back-to-back years, he's going to put on a gold jacket. And you're going to say I'm crazy? Hold on. Go look at Kurt Warner's stretch. He's in the Hall of Fame for 3 years. 3 years, and that's it. What he did with the St. Louis Rams. They won a title, but for 3 years, he put up numbers that if you go look at it are very similar to Sam Darnold. In fact, his last year, he threw 22 picks and like 30 touchdowns.
Well,
now he comes back. Remember, he goes away, and he comes back at the end of his career and has like that one nice season with Arizona. I'm just telling you, the biggest part of the reason why Kurt Warner is in the Hall of Fame, one, is a couple of reasons. One, he won it. It was an unbelievable story. That's a big reason why he's in the Hall of Fame, a huge reason. He's bagging groceries, arena football, and then goes and wins a Super Bowl and an MVP. And he's likable. I think people are going to have, if he can continue to put together the seasons that he has, and he wins another one, there's going to be the same sentiment for Sam Darnold. Now, that's getting way ahead of ourselves, but I'm telling you, it's not that far off when you think about what his numbers, what he's done, especially in the last 2 years. And I guess the bigger picture, Rob, is it's an unbelievable turnaround for a guy that a few years ago was left for dead.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable turnaround, and he is incredibly likable. I do think in a period where Luke Kuechly is a first ballot Hall of Famer and Bill Belichick isn't, then anything could happen with the Hall of Fame, quite frankly. So I wouldn't rule anything out. I'll tell you what I think is going to be the most important thing to the Seahawks potentially going on and winning further Super Bowls. It's going to be what they do at offensive coordinator, because I don't think Clint Kubiak has been flawless, and certainly, I think you could even quibble a little bit. There were certain aspects of that game plan early in the game on Sunday that were not as perfect as they were against the Rams in the NFC Championship game. But the Seahawks are the best because they're the best team: offense, defense, special teams. And if the offense regresses because your play calling and your game planning and your adjustments are not as good as they were this year, I don't think you're going to get back there. And finding someone who can do what Kubiak has done, and we've gone through Shane Waldron, Ryan Grubb, we've been seeking this great person who can bring it together for a long time. I think they found it in Clint Kubiak, and he's gone after 1 year. Sort of finding somebody else who can lead this offense is going to be critical. And I just have no idea who you trust to do that. They'll probably appoint from internal, but there's no play calling experience really on staff. So what they do next, I don't know.
We're a huge one.
Well, I was just going to ask you, Rob, but I don't know if I can follow up with this since you said I don't know already, but I'm going to ask you anyway. You must have an idea in your own mind, like if you were consulting Schneider and he said, "Hey, Rob, who should I look at for the next offensive coordinator? We want to keep this thing rolling." There's got to be somebody out there that you're looking at going, well, he might be the best of the bunch.
Well, you've got on the staff, you've got Jake Peets, who had only a year's play calling experience with LSU, and he was the offensive coordinator there for 1 season. He's been the passing game coordinator, but whether he is in a position now to become an NFL offensive coordinator, I'm not sure. Liam Cohen buzzed around. He went from play caller at Kentucky to offensive coordinator for the Rams, then back to Kentucky. Then he was with the Bucs and the Jags, and he's done a very good job with Baker Mayfield and Trevor Lawrence. So it can be done. You don't need a ton of play calling experience in in the NFL to do it. So he could be an option. Justin Alton's the running game coordinator. Since he took over coaching the running backs, the running game completely took off. And maybe what you do is you say, do you know what? He might not be the best passing game specialist here, but maybe he can produce a terrific running game and continue what you were doing at the end of the season. And maybe that's how you carry on your great offense next year, and you double down on sort of you running the football and your offensive line. You maybe go and spend another high pick on an offensive lineman at right guard or whatever, and you really go for that, and that's how you build this thing. He's an option. I think there's a chance that Andrew Janoko might stay. He did the play calling for the Green Bay game, the final preseason game, so they gave him that opportunity for a reason. He might go with Clint Kubiak to be the OC there, but if you turn around to him and say, we'll make you this effectively the head coach of the offense here, and by the way, your old boss just got like $15 million a year to be the Raiders head coach. He might find that more attractive. And then here's a wild card for you. What about Jay Harbaugh, the special teams coordinator? He coached tight ends and running backs, and at Michigan, his father obviously is an offensive-minded coach. It's not like Jay Harbaugh went into football as a special teams coach. He's done a variety of different jobs. His attention to detail on special teams has been unbelievable. Why not consider saying, can you do this on offense as well? And that's a nice promotion for him. And you appeal to him to say, who would you recommend to be the next special teams coach? I think that's kind of a left field suggestion from.
I like it, and it gives it's now the power of the ginger, because now you'd have two gingers running the offense, right? And when one ginger talks to another ginger, Jim, there's a unlimited ginger power.
Oh, I think so. I think you're right about that. Yeah. I hadn't really thought about it, but now that I have, you're correct.
Yeah, it's elite football minds like ours.
You seem sharper in that beater van of yours than you do at the Lindback.
It's not a beater van. This is a classic. This is a I'm going to make some eggs before I go and visit the family there on the parade route. Rob, we'll let you go. Thank you. Another amazing season with you. This started back on the radio days. We've continued it over here. Another year in the books. It's the best. You continue to say yes to it every year. I do always wait for the time I pick up the phone and ask you to do it. You say no. So, but that's how I look at life. That's glass half empty. But it's a pleasure to have you on as always. Let's try and do one more like off-season look, and then we'll give you some time off, and then of course maybe a few times during the off season, because you're going to do. I mean, you're going to go right into the combine. It's in a couple weeks, and then the draft. I mean, it doesn't slow down. And that's how it all started with you, SeahawksDraftBlog.com. So I want to get your thoughts on what you're going to be looking for the draft. But I just know, I'll speak for everyone that's in our audience, watching, listening. They love having you on. You get great feedback all the time. We post this stuff. So thank you for doing it one more year.
Well, whenever you want to do a show, I'll always be there. I mean, you two were the first. You were the first people to give me a chance on Seattle radio, which was something I always wanted to do. And that means a lot. And it certainly helped the blog and my channel a lot, working with you two. And I've had so many things happen since then as a consequence of that. So I'll never forget that. So whenever you want to talk about the draft, Puck, or anything else for that matter, I'll be there.
Good. Thank you, Rob. Best to you and your family.
See you guys. Enjoy the day.
Thanks, Rob.
There he is, Rob Staton, SeahawksDraftBlog.com, all brought to you by Georgetown Brewery. All right, Jim, I'll let you go. I know you got to make some beds and get on your way, get some lunch. Say hi to the boys for me.
I will. Have a great time down there. See if you can find, Mary Lou and the vampire and Kaisa, the CEO.
Just curious where the vampire is, since the sister was supposed to watch him as he's motoring. Oh yeah, I didn't tell you, crutches. Bad ankle injury in basketball practice. Yeah, went down hard.
Oh.
We were on Children's Hospital the other night for like 4 hours. We thought we broke it. Hell, the doctor thought he popped his Achilles. And I'm like, can a kid pop his Achilles?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that the little guys in a boot and crutches, never fun.
Oh, no. It's not high ankle, though, is it?
Oh, I don't know what it is. It's bad.
How long is he going to be on crutches?
Like 3 weeks.
Oh, geez.
3 or 4 weeks. So we'll see. Yeah, well.
Good.
It happens. When you've got elite athleticism like he does, getting it from your father, it happens. You're going up hard for a layup, and you get land awkwardly.
Yeah. Have a great time out there. That parade's going to be going by pretty soon. So
What a
great day for Seattle sports.
Yeah, it's great. Thanks for everybody watching and listening. Thanks, Jim. I appreciate it as always, dude. I'll talk to you. What is today? I'll talk to you Friday.
Okay, Puck. Take care. Go Cougs.
Yeah, go Cougs. There he is, Jim Moore, the go-to guy with us. All right, we're going to cut out a little early. We're not going to get to On This Day or Hey, What the Puck, because we're going to get out of here early. The parade just starting. I'm going to go on the route. We'll take some video. We'll try to post that later, catch up with my family and all that. Thank you for everyone of bearing with us today as we took the daily puck drop on the road from Goldie. I think it was a success. I think we should do more of these. More of these where these shows are on the road. We'll work on the glare on the camera and all that. But big thanks to everybody watching. Have a blast today. If you're watching on TV, you're going to go down to the parade, what have you. Have a great time. What a great season. And never take it for granted. Never, ever, ever take this stuff for granted. It's the best. And hopefully now we'll be sitting here November-ish for a Mariners parade with pitchers and catchers reporting today. I just saw a video of Ryan Divish taking video of a bullpen session. God, it's almost here, and it's perfect weather. All right, we will talk to you tomorrow, Thursday show. We'll catch up with Mike Garofolo, another episode of KJ Arntz. And so we'll continue our Super Bowl talk throughout the week. Appreciate, again, all the support. As always, thank you for watching and listening to the show. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Again, Daily Puck Drop, find it up on YouTube. Subscribe there, hit the like button, leave a comment, try to get to as many as we can. Of course, I'll also find out the Daily Puck Drop on your favorite podcast platforms as well. We will talk to you tomorrow. As always, we promise to be better.
No shoes, no ties.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah.
I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you, but you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for? We like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!